Hi everyone! Today I'm going to discuss with you the 3 books that I read in January. The first one was Illuminated by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. That was the first book that I decided to pick up after my reading slump. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you would know that I was in a reading slump, so I didn't even film any videos. And I decided to pick up this book, even though I was in the middle of some other ones. I decided to read this one. And that was a really good decision. It kind of helped me to get out of my reading slump because this book is definitely perfect for that. This book is about 2 mega corporations that are at war over a planet, and people from the planet didn't really know that, so no one warned them, and they're trying to escape from there. And now also there is a very interesting disease going on in the ship, and it is a bit creepy. And this disease is mutating with terrifying results. It is a YA science fiction novel, but it is set in a different format. It is not set as a normal novel. It is basically kind of a collection of emails of different, I don't even know what to say, kind of, I don't know, different, my brain doesn't want to work now. It's late in the evening. So basically the format of this book is very unusual and very different, and it definitely works for the story. I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it if it wasn't written in a normal way, in a normal novel way, because it just adds so much more to it, and it just makes you excited every time and more engaging. It's hard to put this book down because it is so engaging and so interesting. I feel like I'm rubbish at explaining my feelings towards it, but I really enjoyed it, and like I said, I found it hard from time to time to put this book down because it was so interesting, and from time to time it would be creepy, especially when we learn about this disease. It is creepy, not like scary, but just a bit creepy, and it gives so much more suspense to the story. At some point I felt like, wow, that's mad. Another thing, and the thing that I want to mention, I'm usually against slang in the books, but in this book I didn't mind it, because mostly it was from time to time when there will be slang words and a lot of swear words, but they will be kind of, not cross, but there will be black, I don't know, spots all over the word. I didn't really mind it as much, even though there were a lot of them. That is purely because it was only used in a conversation between teenagers, which kind of felt real. Let's be real, many teenagers would use those words in real life, so I kind of didn't mind it in this book, and it's not like a proper novel. I mean, it is, but do you know what I mean? It's the format, it's different. So I accepted it and I'm fine with it. At the end, I gave this book 4 stars because I think it's really interesting and really fascinating. Keeps you going. The best book, one of the best books to get you out of your reading slump. So if you're in a reading slump, try this book. You will not regret it. I think it's really good. The second book that I finally read was a book that I was sent by for a review by the publishers, Aurora Publishing, I'm pretty sure. And it was a children's book which is called A Journey from Skyoria by Candy J. Wyatt, I believe. I got an e-copy of this book and it sounded really interesting. It's basically about this girl who accidentally turns up in a place called Skyoria, and now she wants to go back to her family. And these people who she meets, they're not really people, they're different creatures living in the woods, out of civilization and everything. They're really short people, and it sounded like a really magical story, and so much more could have been done with it, but I was disappointed. I mean, it wasn't magical at all. To me, it felt like there was a huge lack of description, so it was a bit difficult to imagine things, imagine the place, imagine the people. I felt like there weren't enough descriptions of those creatures, what they were doing, even what they looked like, apart from them being really short. And yeah, this book was good fun for children. I think they would really enjoy this book because it is a nice book, a slow burning book. It is not about adventures, it's more focused on a family, on, you know, relationship between different family members, of how important family is and everything like that. But there wasn't anything to the plot. The whole book felt like there was nothing in it to keep me going. I would find it hard to pick this book up again, to be honest. but I just wanted to finish it because the other book that I picked up for this from the same publishing company, I didn't finish it because I just couldn't. But the same thing with this one, I didn't enjoy this book as much at all. I gave it 2.5 stars. It wasn't, I don't think that many adults would enjoy this book. I wrote a review on Goodreads, so I will probably try and leave the link to it down below, even though I probably won't because Goodreads on my computer doesn't work. I can't log into it for some strange reason, so I probably won't. But you can search for it if you want. Even with those creatures in the woods, how they lived, it could have been done so much better. It could have been so much more world building, so much more exploration, so much more to do with it. But there was nothing like that. The story was kind of dragged, and there was not enough events or plot points that moved the story forward. It felt kind of flat for me. I felt plain. Not much happened. There was not enough interesting things to keep me going. And yeah, like I said, it is a nice story for children, but it is definitely not for everyone. And if you like fast-paced magical novels, this is definitely not for you. And if I didn't say, the main character is a 9-year-old girl, and at one point the situation with the parents, I felt a bit like, really? It was so unbelievable, and it just kind of ruined it. I know it's a children's book and things could be not like they are in real life, but that was just completely unbelievable, and I felt like, you know. And the last book that I finished in the month of January was Poems from the Second World War. Like I explained in my previous video, we went to the Bletchley Park, that's what it's called, in Milton Keynes, and that is kind of a museum of the code breaking during the World War II, and they also had a shop there with different things. I bought a lot of souvenirs, and this one was one of them. It's not a souvenir, it's a book, obviously. And I thought, I never read poetry, but I thought this could be a really emotional read, because obviously it's from the time when people lived and experienced this World War II, what they felt for real, and I thought it'd be really emotional. And to be honest, I mean, I really enjoyed this book. I gave this book 4 stars. It's a really short book. Some poems, they are green. I felt like they were emotional. They were very good poems, even though I know nothing about poetry, so don't take my words seriously for that, because it's just my enjoyment, my, you know, feelings towards the poem, what they made me feel. And I felt I wanted to cry more from this book. I mean, I didn't cry in any of the poems at all. I was close in a couple of them, one of those green ones. They were really not very touchy ones, but kind of, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I'm rubbish at explaining it in this video, my feelings towards the book. But this book was definitely interesting, and I think it's worth reading it if you're interested in the Second World War. Some poems felt a bit like, I don't know, kind of flat, but some, like I said, are great and very emotional. They make you feel, they make you think, they make you more interested in the period of World War II. At least that's what that made me feel. I wanted to learn more. I realized from this book that I really like to read books set at that time, but also probably kind of like memoirs or something of real things happening, maybe like a history book or something. Do you know what I mean? Not just fiction about the period of the World War II, but more of a non-fiction, more of real things that happened at that period of time. If I didn't mention it, I give this book 4 stars, and I think at some point I'm going to probably reread some of these poems because they were really good ones, and I really enjoyed them. So these were all of the 3 books that I read in January. I am happy that I'm out of my reading slump. That makes me really happy. Tell me in the comments what books you read in the month of January and what was your favorite book of the month. Mine would, I don't know which one would be, Illuminated or the poems book. I would struggle to pick one. Thank you for watching. Bye!